What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of The Breakdown. And Bernard Hopkins now becomes the oldest fighter ever to win a championship belt. He becomes the oldest champion ever, supplanting um, George Foreman, who did it over Michael Moore back in, I believe it was 1994 or 1995. So Hopkins, 46 years old, light heavyweight world champion, with a unanimous decision over Jean Pascal. Now, let's get into something, folks. Hopkins is probably the last of a breed that is the old school breed. You know, when you mention fighters like Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, um, Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, um, Sonny Liston, George Foreman. When you mention names like that, and just the demeanor of those guys, never to duck or dodge anyone, and to go fight the best of the best and the best competition out there, Hopkins has got to be the last one of that breed. Hopkins doesn't duck or dodge anyone. He seeks out the best opponent he can possibly fight, and he fights him. And more times than not, he wins. I mean, he keeps getting older, but he keeps on winning. A lot of people think that he won the first fight against Pascal, and I mean, I have to say I thought he won that fight too. But there's no doubt that Hopkins won this fight. Now, Hopkins, like I said, he just keeps getting older, and what's so amazing about it is that he starts off fights slowly, and you might think, okay, this guy's too old, but then when about that fourth or fifth round comes around, Hopkins gets so dialed in, you can't do anything about it. And so now that Hopkins has become the oldest heavyweight champion, that for me that puts Hopkins in an even greater realm than he already was in, because before Hopkins he definitely was one of the greats, but now you've got to put Hopkins almost into another realm that he wasn't in before. And, for him to be 46 years old, and then you look at a guy like Shane Mosley, who's about 39 or 40 years old, Shane Mosley fights like he's 6 years older than Hopkins, and Hopkins is 6 years older than him. So for him to be to be taking on young champions, I mean, young lions, guys that are hungry, like a Jean Pascal, and guys like Kelly Pavlik in the past, and guys like, even though he lost, guys like Jermaine Taylor, or guys like Antonio Tarver, guys who were a lot younger than him, and for him to come up with the wins really says a lot about Bernard Hopkins. And, Bernard Hopkins definitely is, in my opinion, one of the top 10 of all time. And if you want to rank him higher than that, then go right ahead, because Hopkins is, like I said, I mean, for him to be as old as he is and to keep doing it, and that's just a testament to that. If you take care of yourself, then basically, your body will take care of you when you get older. And it's just amazing that Bernard Hopkins, like I said, at his age, is still able to perform at a high level. And that tells me that guys like Shane Mosley, guys like that them guys, he obviously didn't take care of himself, because he's 6 years younger than Hopkins, but he fights like he's 6 years older. than Hopkins. And, you know, Hopkins is what every fighter today, the Manny Pacquiao's, the Floyd Mayweathers, every fighter, every younger fighter, or every fighter that's still in their prime should take a note from Hopkins, and that is to go fight the best of the best out there. Fight the young and upcoming guys who are hungry to beat you. Fight the best of the best. You know, granted, these guys don't have to fight when they're as old as Hopkins. You know, that's something that not everybody can do. But the fact of the matter that Hopkins goes out there and fights the best of the best. He fights young guys. You know, he doesn't disrespect a young guy and say, you know, Hopkins, he doesn't disrespect a young guy and say, you know, this guy's not good enough to fight me. And I can respect that because Bernard Hopkins will fight the best of the best. And I know I keep saying it, but that's what a lot of the younger fighters or fighters that's still in their prime today, that's what they should do. You know, is Manny Pacquiao out there fighting the best of the best that he can possibly fight? No. You know, and even though he's not fighting Mayweather, because we know that for those two, that, you know, for Pacquiao to fight Mayweather or Mayweather to fight Pacquiao, that's the best they can, that's the best either one of them can do. But even besides Pacquiao fighting Mayweather or Mayweather fighting Pacquiao, there's still other good fights out there for them. And neither, you know, Mayweather hasn't fought, and Pacquiao's not even taking the second, third, or fourth best option that he possibly can fight. So Hopkins is taking the best options that he can fight at a way higher age, and at this point, Hopkins is a lot greater, will go down as a way greater fighter than Manny Pacquiao or Floyd Mayweather could ever dream of becoming, and especially Pacquiao. And so, for all you Pacquiao fans out there that think Pacquiao is the greatest of all time, sit back and check up Bernard Hopkins' resume first before you go throwing accolades out there to Pacquiao like that. So that's all I gotta say. What do you guys think about the fight? Bernard Hopkins, oldest champion there is to do it. I'm out of here.